So there's three different levels of the game, and it's not like you can't go up and down the levels or whatever. But I think it's important as I'm studying this to understand, like when people come in through our lead generation. I'm starting a business. Well, let's figure out who you are. You starting a business. Why? Because you're tired of working for somebody else. Those usually end up being self-employed people. I'm tired of working with somebody else. I don't really want nothing. I'm cool with what I do. I'm cool with what I make. I just don't want to work for somebody else. Going to the book you talking about, that person, I'm at from where they're starting. They're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna absorb that. Now the small business owner who's been in there something, you'll have something to be like, oh, I want to go to the next level. The issue is you have to define what the next level is.
Correct.
That's
And then keep refining it, because
yes,
the deeper you go, the deeper it gets.
yeah. So you have to define that. You have to. So I would say the small business owner, when people can separate themselves from the business and see the business as an entity on itself, unto itself, that's what I would say the difference between the self-employed and the small business owner goes from a sociological point of view. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's when you really look at the business and say, oh, there's the business, then there's me. Functionally, I don't mean, obviously for marketing and branding, you stand in front of it, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're setting it up and it's like it runs, you're employing people that have function. They actually have major function in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, you're moving away from having a key man operation. That's small business thing. And then the entrepreneurs, I just said disruptive. You might be by yourself, but you like, yo, I'm shaking everything up.
Right.
I'm going all out. I'm doing stuff like that.
Right.
Those are three different characteristics
Right.
completely. Like,
Right.
and you service those three people different. And totally, you said there's a total different, you service them differently. I mean, completely. And it's a thing. Yeah, this is turning into a strategy meeting online. Online strategy meeting for the most transparency you ever get. But I know for a fact, and I'll say it, and that's like I said, I'm not, this is not a judgment. This is a thing that we're dealing with a lot of the category A's. They self-employed. That's what they are. Love them. They self-employed. But our infrastructure is based on category C
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See.
because of
Mm-hmm.
me. I am. So that's why I'm like, so I realize, and I'm like, because it's times it comes up and I'm sitting there like, they worried about that. But it's because I'm up here like, well, how we going blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, I'm so worried about the taxes. And I'm like, worried about the taxes? What's my surefire way for you to not worry about taxes? Don't make no money, you ain't got to worry about no taxes. It's as simple as that. Like you want it both ways. You want it, and I just say that it felt like the right thing when you mentioned this book that people in category B and C, the book, something like that is an enhancement. I believe people want to grow their stuff, but I also believe people don't. If you don't have that separation from me in the business, I think it's very difficult to move into these spaces with a lot of that, with like these books and these resources we come with. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult for you to understand that because, and it's not about survival. I mean, from the E-Myth, our
Trusted. Yeah.
guiding book is, you got stages. You
Right.
surviving. You might
Right.
be surviving for 15 years before you start thriving, and then you were like, and that's something I just want to. I'm just imploring people, think about what you want when you start a business. Do you just want to? Not just, and I don't mean to use just. Do you want comfortable life where you're your own boss and you're chilling or whatever? Be honest. That's what you want. That's what you want. So, like, do you want to have a business where it could run on its own, or you could just do the parts that you like, and people handle the administration and they handle all this other stuff, and you do the part that you like, you kind of manage it, or you might have a manager. You want it to just, you want something that's a thing, and most importantly, you want a business that could potentially be sold. Is that what you want? It can be done. Or you like, I'm trying to have an impact in the marketplace or in my industry, in my community. I want to do something that everybody else isn't doing. I want to do something that changes something.
Well, how do we effectively communicate that, right? So 50. The number is actually 64% of startups and small businesses do not have a properly written business plan.
Which means
And
they don't have a mission statement.
business plan.
Well, I'm saying that means they don't have a mission statement because
Yeah, that's
part of the
true.
business plan is a mission statement. Yeah.
That's true, right? So, and then 96% of business plans are flawed. And that flaw comes from the denial of the amount of loans that are being seeked out.
So you mean, what do you mean that
They don't get funded. They don't
no,
get
they don't
funded.
get funded? Well, yeah, of course not, because you're not going to get a loan off written.
Which makes sense, as to, the ones that go through our business plan program. We're like, do you have a plan in the beginning? Yeah, check it out. Looks like that.
What, blank page? Well,
They got some words on it, but the words didn't show up fast enough.
Yeah, the camera didn't lock in. Well, yeah. Well, that's because business plan is like friend.
Yeah.
In the English language, we use a lot of catchphrases. We use a lot of. It's the same thing what I'm saying. Everybody says they're a business owner or they're CEO. They're like CEO, and it's like them and their dog. Like it's like you the CEO. I think we're entering a new thing of demystifying these terms and maybe using different terms to say this. You have to have a business plan. And my thing has always been, it's just a plan of how you plan to make money. That's what a business plan is. So people dismiss it. Oh, well, you do that to get loans. Oh, I don't need that. You only need that if you're trying to get to a bank. Explain to me exactly how you're going to operate something, and you don't know how you're going to operate. You're going to do something to get to a end point, but you have no plan for it. Hey, you're going to tell me you don't need it, and then I'm supposed to take you serious as a business person? Like, how am I supposed to do that? And then you come. They want these services from us, but they can't tell me the first thing of where they want to be. I'm supposed to give you. What am I supposed to do with that?
Right. So let me give you some points there to advance on what you're saying. Right? Clarity and direction. If they don't have clarity and direction, a lot of people want advice. Well, tell me how to do this. Well, we can't sit in the passenger seat or the back seat and drive the vehicle. You're driving.
Some people try.
Let's go back to what's the name of that show? Police Academy. What's the dude name? Hightower, where he ripped out the driver's seat and sat in the back seat.
That's the
only way that's gonna work.
Yo, that was dope. My man pulled the seat out. Like, yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? So clarity and direction, and then a communication tool. Business plan is a communication tool, and there's elements in there. So because you have to be able to, wherever you're starting from, whatever levels, whether self-employed, sole proprietor, small business entrepreneur, that's a progression to growing the business and scaling the business. So it's okay to start from the bottom, but having a business plan that will allow you to create clarity and direction, to create a communication tool, right? To create strategic and tactical planning. Those are the different components that we try to communicate to our clients that fall into our business program. The direction that's needed. I yield back to you now.
You yield back. Oh man, we have a real live meeting here. We're about to pull Robert's rules out over here, but this is right in line. This is totally in line. But I just want people. I feel like, and it makes our life easy. It's just because we call this the final push. As I said, the tax deadline, the busy season, is supposedly ending in our profession based on everybody else. Next Monday, it's supposed to slow down. Doesn't really slow down for us, which I'm grateful for. Thank God for that. But I'm saying doesn't really slow down. And I said I'd come back to that because we live tax 365. I mean, we do it every day. We deal with taxes every day, not just between January and April, every day. And we deal with tax planning today. And a lot of these terms, they're just thrown around. They're thrown around. So I'm thinking back even to the call that we had yesterday, with the potential, other service line. And the way that she used tax planning, we didn't get to talk about it because we was thinking about dodo bird yesterday. But like looking back, just think about it. It involved a look back and be like, if you did this, wow, and you're gonna do this in the future, you could use it as a tax planning action. Nothing in there was, tax planning is not so you can make $1 million and pay zero. That's tax avoidance, and that's tax. You want to go to jail, right? That's what it is. So, but it's planning. I've say this all the time on a standard profit and loss statement. Like pull any company, Apple, Facebook, any of them. Their annual reports, their financial statements are open. Anyone can pull them. Taxes is not the first line on their P&L. It's at the bottom, and it's something that happens is called you calculate in corporate tax. You calculate a tax provision that's based on what? Your profit. So big business look like that. Small business, the first thing somebody talks to me about is the tax. Don't you see something's wrong with that? Talk to me about your profit. Your profit.